to St. Mark, the 16th chapter.
Glory to you, Lord.
When the Sabbath was over, Mary Magdalene and Mary the mother of James and Salome bought spices so that they might go and anoint Jesus. And very early on the first day of the week, when the sun had risen, they went to the tomb. They had been saying to one another, "Who will roll away the stone for us from the entrance to the tomb?" When they looked up, they saw that the stone, which was very large, had already been rolled back. As they entered the tomb, they saw a young man dressed in a white robe sitting on the right side, and they were alarmed. But he said to them, "Do not be alarmed. You are looking for Jesus of Nazareth, who was crucified. He has been raised. He is not here. Look, there is the place they laid him. But go, tell his disciples and Peter that he is going ahead of you to Galilee. There you will see him just as he told you." So they went out and fled from the tomb, for terror and amazement had seized them. And they said nothing to anyone, for they were afraid. The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Christ.
Grace to you and peace from God the Father, from Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen. You may be seated. Some of you may remember a phase not so many years ago, I think it's during the 70s, maybe the early 80s, when Hollywood went through this really interesting phase where they didn't give you closure to movies. It's like they either ran out of money, they ran out of film, they ran out of energy, they ran out of plot. It's like you're watching a movie and it was just really intense, you'd be really getting into it, and then boom, the credits would start rolling. It just ended, it just stopped. There was no closure, and it was horrible. I hated it. And this lasted for almost 10 years. And for almost 10 years, I didn't go to the movies. Because I like closure. And I don't even care, I like happy endings. I prefer happy endings. But even if it's a tragic, horrible, sad ending, it's still an ending. And I can tell my friends not to go see it, but at least you got closure. I like closure. I don't like these unopened, unanswered questions at the end where I have to make up my own ending. It infuriates me. Welcome to the Gospel of St. Mark. It's actually one of my favorite Gospels now, but it didn't used to be. And that's because what we read today, most scholars agree, was the actual ending of the Gospel of St. Mark. It is just like it's written. Now, if you go back and look later today, and I hope that some of you do, you'll notice there's a whole lot more written after it, but it says that that's not the original ending. And you can tell when you read it, because it doesn't sound anything like the rest of Mark. And in writing, unbeknownst to a lot of young people, it's a lot like a fingerprint. You have a very unique style. And when you change that style, you know there's a different author involved. That's how teachers always know when you cheat. Just ask them. Because there's a difference in writing styles. You can tell. It's very clear. And when you read very much, and the scriptures are no different. And they may have tried to keep the same style, but they missed it by a landslide. So when it says the women left in fear and amazement, that's how it ended. Now, we could probably talk and discuss for days about why they were afraid. It could be they're afraid that, if it's true, if this young man / angel, whatever he was telling the truth and Jesus really was raised from the dead, well, he's liable to be just a little bit aggravated. Everybody abandoned him. I mean, if he's raised from the dead, then that means he really is, number one, that he really is the Messiah of God. And number two, don't you bet he's going to have a few questions? Like, hey, what happened back there? I mean, would you kind of wonder where all your buddies went? Being handed over to all of the enemies that ever existed? I'd have a few questions. And if they weren't afraid of that, well, let's say they believe, okay, he's raised from the dead, but if you said to meet him in Galilee, that's where the whole party started, If you said to meet him in Galilee, they must not be too angry, because if he's really angry, he'd stop right here. But that's not what he said. So, and maybe they were afraid that the Romans would believe that they stole the body. And if that was true, they didn't have mixed emotions about crucifying women. And so they could have been in real danger. So we don't really know why they were afraid. It just says they were afraid. But what's The most interesting part about our reading, even though I think all that stuff is fascinating, the best part is what we do know. And that's why it became one of my favorite Gospels. It's because of what it does say. One of my favorite lines in all Scripture, and I say that almost every Sunday, because I like a lot of it. But this particular one today is just, it is so mesmerizing. It stays with you. And when you finally get it, all of your life, it stays with you. Be sure and tell the disciples and Peter to meet me in Galilee. Those are the most beautiful words ever written. And I want you to stay with me for just a minute. And I want you to get in both of their heads for just a minute. Jesus told Peter before it ever happened that it was going to happen. That Peter would betray Jesus 3 times before a rooster crowed twice in one night. Actually it says before the cock crows twice, you will deny having even known me 3 times. And then it happened. So you can imagine, now these are 2 guys, that they traveled together for years. They were really close as any brothers or family members and anyone you love with all your heart could possibly be. These guys really, it's written, it's all over the text. I mean, it's not like they were casual acquaintances. It wasn't like a regular master-disciple relationship. These guys were close. They lived together. They spent a lot of time together. They knew each other's hearts. They knew what was going on. So you could just imagine 2 things. First, Peter. What's going on with Peter? The night that it happened. And this is as recently as Friday. You can imagine the night that it happened. Now, this is someone you love and have loved for a long time. And then you totally betrayed him, every bit as much as Judas did. I mean, you totally turned and it was more than just turning your back and running in fear. It was saying out loud, I don't even know him. I've never seen the guy. No, I'm not a disciple. Ha ha ha. Can you imagine then when the rooster crowed how he must have felt? Just imagine it for just a moment. Maybe a little bit of guilt. Maybe a whole lot of shame. Just guessing. And you can just feel it in the text that his heart is ripped open. And there's no way to undo it. You can't go back and unsay certain things. You can't go back and undo certain behaviors. You can't go back and change what, have you ever been in a position where you really wish with all your, if anything had I not said that, and you can't take it back? Have you ever been in a position where maybe you didn't really intend to, but you kind of betrayed a friend or someone you care about? You didn't really want to, but after the fact, you can see so clearly in hindsight, right? 2020. But you can't undo it. There's no way you can't fix it. You're powerless. There's nothing you can do. And the text says that he was saying, he asked for forgiveness. He was probably just wallowing in his own, oh my gosh, what have I done? You can imagine. Now, there's a painting out there that floats around that says that, Jesus is carrying his cross and he glanced around just as the cock crowed and made eye contact with Peter. I love that painting. It speaks volumes, more than anything I could ever say. And I don't know if that actually happened, but what we do know is what the text says today, is that this guy's heart was broken. Now, we don't know for sure what was going on in Jesus' mind, but we already knew it was going to happen. But still, it had to sting just a little bit when it did. You can just imagine, and even though he knew it was going to be a horrific night and a hellish night for everyone, but maybe there was still just a little bit of inkling of hope that maybe it wouldn't have played out the way it did. And maybe he was just a little bit disappointed. Or what I rather believe, because I believe this is actually a truer picture of the cross, is that when he thought on Peter, even while he was making his way after it all happened, and before he was dead, as he was making his way, I believe that probably he had such heart-wrenching empathy for Peter, because he knew how Peter felt. And he knew that Peter didn't want to do that. And he knew that's not what Peter, he knows that's not what Peter was about. But I believe that Jesus probably felt so badly for Peter that he wished that he could have undone it just for Peter's sake. I mean, that's the heart to me of the cross, is that, have you ever felt so badly for someone you love that you wish you could fix it for them, and you just can't, because you can't undo what you've already done? But in a way, now we're on the 3rd day, And so we have this beautiful line in one sentence. In one sentence. And to me, this sums up the whole of the gospel. Now, we'll be talking about what that means later on, but for today, today of proclamation, today it means, tell the disciples and Peter that even though Peter couldn't, or didn't, or whether he did or whether he didn't, there's no way he could undo it or fix it or really ask for forgiveness, but Jesus forgave him anyway. Jesus loved him anyway. In spite of Peter being a human being, Jesus loved him just the way he was, and he wanted to make sure that Peter knew that he was still part of the group. Even when we make the most dreadful, God forbid mistakes in our lives, God is still there loving us, saying, forgive them, for they know not what they do, and I love them anyway in spite of myself. Make sure Peter knows he's still included. He is still one of the disciples. I still love him the same today, yesterday, through all eternity. That will never change, and nothing can shake that. And that same proclamation goes for you, and for me, and for all people throughout all eternity. That's what the Easter message is that we're forgiven in spite of ourselves. Even when most of the time we don't even know to ask for forgiveness, because probably most of the time we don't know that we betrayed Jesus in the first place. But sometimes we do. Sometimes we know full well what we've done. And He still forgives us. Even when it's intentional, He still forgives us. He still loves us. And He still includes us. You are still in. You're still one of the group. You are still beloved. Nothing can change that. No devil in hell can change that. No angel in heaven can change that. No human being can change that. Nothing on earth or heaven or in between can ever change the love that God has for us. And we know that because of what today stands for. God's yes to humanity. God's yes to raising Jesus, God's heart being raised back from the dead, saying, I love you anyway. Go ahead. Go ahead. Try to kill me again, because I'm going to love you some more. Amen. Amen. Pray the peace which passes all human understanding. Keep all of our hearts and all of our minds in Christ Jesus our Lord. Amen.